Hello and good afternoon or good morning to those on the West Coast, and welcome again here to the inaugural UOnline Open House. If you're just joining us, my name is Tori Brignolo. I'm a Senior Enrollment Advisor with the University of Miami UOnline's program. And we've got a couple of sessions today. So far, we've learned a little bit about what it's like to be part of the UM community as an online student, what it's like to earn a degree 100% online, and we've also taken a look inside of the online classroom. So now we want to dig a little bit further and get into some of our specifics, in particular the Sport Administration program. So first up here, we're going to talk about our Master of Science in Education Sport Administration program, offered 100% online here through the University of Miami. And if anyone is wondering how they would go about building a career in sports, we have a faculty member here, Paul Resnick. He's going to help us out, and definitely thankful to have him here, give us a little bit more insight about the Sport Administration program and faculty perspective there. And I'll give you a little bit of background on Paul. He is a senior lecturer here and the internship director for the Sport Administration program. He joined the University of Miami in 2009, and he has spent many, many years working in professional sports, so definitely well-versed in the industry. He has a lot of real-world wisdom to share with us today, so we definitely want to dive into that. Thanks again for being here, Paul, and I want to give Paul a chance to introduce himself to you all and give you a few words here.
Yeah, thanks, Tori. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to meeting everybody here today, and hopefully I can help give you at least some words of wisdom to prepare you at least for this career in the industry, or where you're thinking about maybe entering into the industry, and share a little bit about what we do here at the University of Miami that makes it so special within the sports industry. So I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. So without further ado, definitely want to dive into some questions here. Got a lot of great ones, and hopefully get a little bit better perspective on the Sport Administration program. And of course, if any of you all that are listening have any questions, please feel free to type those into the chat box, and we will try to get to them as many as possible before the session is over. So first question we have here for you, Paul, is why are internships so important in the sport industry?
Look, getting your degree is great in this industry, and that degree is going to look awesome on your wall, but the way the sports industry works, without getting that experience, you can't separate yourself from the pack. Here at the University of Miami, we're going to be able to network, or allow you to network with a lot of the connections that we have, introduce you to a lot of the folks that we know from not only here within the state of Florida, but from around the world, and expose you, I think, to some of the potentials with internships. And without that key component, good luck trying to get a job in the industry. I think any programs out there, if you're doing some research right now, and I guess here would be my first bit of wisdom that I want to share with you. If you're doing research now in other programs, you want to make sure, look, I'm looking out there, this is great, this looks awesome, but most of them probably don't have something that ties so great with an internship aspect as we do here at the University of Miami. And it's really just a great message from not only myself, but the rest of the faculty here. We do whatever we can to reach out and make as many relationships as possible for you guys out there. So again, internships being the most critical component of breaking into this industry, because the theory is going to be outstanding. You're going to learn a wealth of information here, but you're going to see, if you walk outside the door in a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it might take you to finish the program, without that experience, good luck. And we're going to press that from day one. In fact, you're getting it right now before you even come into the program. Showcasing what the importance is of those internships. I can't stress it enough. I deal with students all the time, day in, day out, and we're constantly working on building resumes. And that's not only just for our online students, our on-campus students, it's also with our online students.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I think that's some great information there. And just kind of building off that, what is it really about having that? We understand that having the experience is necessary, but what is it about, actually participating in that experience, getting that behind you, which makes you an attractive, employer, attractive candidate to future employers?
Yeah, it gives you a first world experience of what it's like in this industry. We can teach you, and we can paint this picture for you in the classroom setting. We can give you things to read as far as the Sports Business Journal, but actually getting the exposure to the industry, it's unmatched. That's what the preparation is all about. As you talk to people in this sports industry, if it's entry level or if it's presidents and CEOs, all of them are going to tell you, look, it started way back when I started with an internship or a volunteer position that got my foot in the door to help me move through this fraternity of this great industry. It doesn't just you can't just walk in, and it's just kind of a part of what you need to do. And the more internships that you have, the better. But the experience is what you need to look at as far as the ones that are going to help to separate you from the pack. Don't do an internship that you feel like, oh, this is menial tasks. It's a good organization, but I'm not really getting in-depth knowledge of the industry. Maybe that smaller organization where you get your hands a bit more dirty into multiple departments can be the one that helps to set you apart from the rest of the candidates. And that's something that we'll talk about, with our students here. I don't want to give too much away, just give you a little taste of it, but you get the exposure to all the faculty here at the University of Miami, and we walk you through this whole process, each step of the way. We don't expect for you day one to walk out and say, oh, well, I'm going to try to get an internship and this is how I'm going to do it. You're going to probably need guidance, and that's what we're here for. So in helping you decide, hey, is this organization right for me, or is this organization right for me? And we look at the total picture and say, well, what's your end goal? Where do you want to be, at the end of it all? And we'll work you through that, try to help you the best we can.
And I think Paul has a great point. He had mentioned that kind of expand your horizons, AKA don't sell yourself short. I mean, maybe you'll pursue an internship with an organization where, like you said, you're not necessarily getting, the proper work in regards to the goal that you have. So it's always good to kind of keep your options open. Really, really be open to the concept of doing this internship work, even if you've been a full-time employee. I know Paul could probably speak on this as well. A majority of our students, for that matter, are employed full-time when they come into these programs, yet they're still seeking out these internship opportunities. So it's never too late to get that experience, even if you're a working professional. It's always good to kind of get that behind your belt. So thank you, Paul, for touching on that. I definitely appreciate it. Building on that, just to continue forward with the whole internship, I know we're kind of pressing this issue, but it's massively important in the sport industry. From your experience, Paul, how does help online students in particular stand out and secure these type of competitive sport internships?
Yeah, I mean, it all starts with our network base. I was, just going through my phone before we started, kind of going through some emails, and I've got some meetings set up and some calls set up with not only organizations here that are local, really around the country, not only for our online students, but our on-campus students like to kind of jet around, and then we even look at international opportunities. So through our network base, we're going to be able to provide you kind of some again, this guidance that you may need in looking at and securing locations. And the great thing about my job, and what I enjoy the most, is the challenge of breaking into a new market. So if a student is in a location in the country that we don't necessarily have a network connection, that allows me the opportunity then to go pick up the phone, reach out to the right folks, build a connection, and then at least open that door for you to get your foot in the door and to get your resume into the right hands of people. And then hopefully from that point, you sell yourself in an interview to land those jobs. And I want to touch on one other point that you were mentioning in regards to our full-time students. And I know there's a lot of you that are full-time, and this may be a scary thought where you go, wow, I've got this job, I've got this career, it's not where I want to be, and that's why I'm tuning in now, because sports is what interests me. But I've got a family, I've got a full-time job, or I've got other responsibilities. Well, how do I do an internship? And that's when I turn the page and I said, well, internships might not be the best thing for you because of the time commitment. Volunteering would be the next step. And volunteering, wherever you are in the country or even around the world, there's sports that are going on. It could be a local high school, it could be a local college, it could be a pro sports organization. We'll work you through those kind of loops and tell you that process of how to figure out, well, where do I work? How do I build volunteer experience? I'm not in a large city. I can't be around a pro team. Oh, how am I going to be competitive? There's ways. That's what we're here for. So don't feel discouraged or beat before you even start the program because you've got, or you think you have the challenge of family, a full-time job, or you're in a smaller market here in the country. I guarantee the University of Miami is going to open a lot of doors for you, as well as the faculty here, which we're all here in your corner. We're not just across the keyboard grading stuff. We all have, access to reaching out to our students, and we encourage the students to reach out to us at all times. So.
And I think that's a great point, and thank you for bringing that up with regards to the volunteer aspect. I mean, I think any experience is good experience, and if you don't have the time to make it work for an internship, go out into a local, sports team or whatever the case may be, and just get some sort of experience. It's super helpful. It helps ultimately build your resume and build your case for those future employers. Paul, we get this question a lot, and I think you kind of touched on it in your answer there, but a lot of students from outside of Florida, hey, I'm not in Miami. How am I going to get a job if I'm not in Miami? What are you guys going to do to help? And, I know you mentioned it briefly, but I was wondering if you could maybe elaborate on that a little bit about, the kind of the process you would go about reaching out to people outside of this specific network here in Miami.
Yeah, I mean, the sports world isn't only here in Miami. I mean, we got a great community of organizations that we work with and a great network base down here, but sports is worldwide. It's omnipresent. It's embedded in our society. You turn on the news. It doesn't have just a sports section. It's really current topics, constantly out in the limelight. So you don't have to be here in Miami to land a job in the industry. Again, it kind of goes back to our network base, but I want to expand a bit more on just our network base and the alumni we have in our program, because our alumni, not only in sport admin for our on-campus, but also our graduate online program, they're spread out all across the world. So chances are when I speak to a new student, I'm going to talk to them on the phone and I'm going to say, oh, you know what, you're in so-and-so place. I've got a great connection from an alum from our program that why don't you guys hook up? They can tell you about what their track is in the industry, and boom, there's your first network connection that you've made, in the sports industry. So don't think that the only place you're going to get a job is here in Miami. Sure, the weather's great, especially in the winter time, but sports is everywhere. And from the smallest towns in our country to overseas and around the globe, there's different sports opportunities, and you've got to be willing. And this is what I tell a lot of our on-campus students: if that right opportunity is out there for you, and you have the kind of potential, or you're in that situation where you can pick up and move, sometimes you don't want to miss out on those opportunities. So you may even be taking our class, and you're here locally, and you're not able to come to our campus and do classes, but you're doing it online, and you find a great opportunity in Chicago, either for an internship or a full-time job. Sometimes there's a little saying in this industry: in order to get these opportunities, sometimes you got to move out. So you may need to move over there. So you just have to be very open-minded, and we've got to think outside of what traditional sense of sports is, where you're sitting down on the weekends and you're thinking, okay, World Series games are on, or NFL games are on, or NBA basketball season is on. That's pro sports. That's great, but there's so many other areas in the industry that you're going to learn about in our program, things that you never thought about would be an exciting part of the sports world.
Yeah, that's a great point, and I think we often just kind of get caught up in just collegiate and just professional sports, and you're absolutely right. I mean, the opportunities are endless, and they're everywhere. I think, a lot of us are a lot of individuals that, grew up wanting to be part of the sport industry, maybe have some, experience working or playing for an AAU basketball team or things of that nature. I mean, these are all types of experiences that we would encourage our students to be a part of if possible. Again, any experience is definitely good experience. So thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. We do have a question for you as well, Paul. It came in. I think it touches on a lot of what we've been talking about, but I think it can help you elaborate a little bit further for our individuals that are listening here. In particular, what sort of, in your experience rather, what sort of specific volunteer experiences have students had access to while going through this program? Can you think of any?
Oh, everything. It could be volunteering at something that you may not think about. Everywhere around the country, there's 5Ks, and there's these nonprofit organizations that put on sporting events. They need volunteers. If it's a nonprofit and it's super early in the morning on a Saturday, I understand we don't want to be out, especially if we're working full-time already during the week, but that's going to get you exposure to the industry. It's going to get you the event side of the sports industry, and it's something you're probably not thinking of. So we've got things like that. We've got world-class events where students have done internships and volunteering over at, tennis events, professional tennis events at the Super Bowl. Got a great connection down here, which if you come to Miami, reach out if you want to work and volunteer with the Super Bowl. We got a lot of good opportunities coming up next year. Definitely put you in touch there. College bowl games, high school sports, really the full landscape of the sports industry. Anything that you can think of, golf tournaments, really where our students are doing volunteer, positions, everything. And I think it's extremely important they have, this experience to pull that stuff up and get that on their resumes. So.
Definitely. Thank you. Appreciate that. Definitely some great insight there. And I think all of our listeners can take a lot about what you're saying and, hopefully mold it into their own experience and, what they're looking to do to kind of progress forward and move forward in this industry here. So, Paul, we have another question for you. What mentorship opportunities would the program offer?
So mentorships, that's a great question. We're so connected with executives in the industry, around the globe that have been willing to chat with our students and talk to them and build relationships with them outside of just our faculty, which we can mentor you at any point. But, our students want to kind of break out beyond just us and pick up experience from others in the industry. And we can connect you with those. Our alums, as I mentioned before, great resource, always willing to help out. And then these executives that we've, kind of established relationships with. This is my 10th year here at UM. One of my main responsibilities outside of helping assist with teaching some of the online classes and on-campus courses is building our network base as strong and as large as possible. If it's me attending events, if it's me, talking to folks around the world, if it's having them come on down to campus, whatever it is, and it's for your benefit, and it's to open the doorway for you, either the mentoring side, the volunteer side, the internship side. And I think it is critical. You've got to have a mentor, and everybody understands this in the industry. Somebody has mentored the individual that's going to mentor you, and it's kind of giving back. That's what it comes down to. They're going to remember those moments when they were first starting to break in the industry, and they're going to say, you know what, so-and-so helped me, and now it's my turn to go back and help them. And it happens a lot from our student side. One thing I'm super excited about, with the World Series going on right now, I noticed the other day that I've got 2 former students that are now competing in the World Series, one on the Red Sox side, one on the Dodgers side. So it puts me in a tough bind to cheer for. But at the end of it all, I'll be happy and I'll be sad. So we had this happen a few years back when the Heat and the Spurs played against each other in the championship. The benefit of that, they played in back-to-back championships. The Heat won one and the Spurs won one. So the students were happy. But so the students that we have, the alumni base that we have, are getting world-class experiences, and obviously it'd be tough to mentor right now for the Dodgers and the Red Sox during these next couple of weeks, but those are the kind of access, that's kind of the access that you guys would get. We'd be able to put you in touch with some of those folks, and they're more than happy to share their knowledge and their experience and kind of their insight on the industry with you.
If that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what would. As you can tell, definitely a lot of connections, a lot of networks, and we pride ourselves on building and continuing to build those networks, not only nationwide but internationally as well. And that's why our program here online is offered for both national and international students. So I have another question that came in here, and I think we could both touch on this, Paul, which is are there opportunities to come on campus for networking? So. Absolutely. I can start by saying, and we spoke about this in earlier sessions, we do offer that online campus orientation, which is the weekend before class starts. And Paul is typically there. I think he's been there almost every single time, unless there was some event going on. And, gets a chance to meet the students, brand new students, that day before class starts. So it's an excellent opportunity to network. But I think one of a really big event that we put on yearly is that Sport Industry Conference. And Paul and I both had the pleasure of attending that. And Paul, I think you could probably give some excellent insight on that. I know you've been a part of, doing the planning and things of that nature. So can you speak a little bit about the Sport Industry Conference we offer yearly?
Yeah, this is an extra bonus, for you guys, and really a great opportunity to come on campus. It's an excuse to come on campus in the spring when our weather is perfect, which is great. But we have a Sport Industry Conference that one of our main faculty members, Dr. Erin McNary, heads up, and we all play a little part, but she's the brains that get this machine rolling, and she's the one that puts in a lot of the hard work and the sweat, the tears that go behind it. But we have some amazing speakers over 2 days, and not just local speakers. We get world-class speakers from throughout this industry to come out, to be on our panels, and to network with our students. This access is unmatched. For 2 days, you guys will have complete exposure not only to the faculty. You kind of get stuck with us for a little bit, say hello, You get to meet all of your classmates, which is tremendous as well. Maybe you've just met them and kind of communicated with them via online or on phone calls or text messages or text chats. Well, now you get all this chance to come here, but most importantly, the networking exposure for 2 days and the industry knowledge you're going to pick up, because the topics that we choose in these panels are current topics in the industry, kind of those hot button topics, the trends that are happening. For instance, this past year we had one on esports. If you're following the industry right now, it is a very, very hot topic. It is another segment of the industry that's continuing to grow, one that I encourage a lot of my students to get experience in, because it's on the brink of really exploding, if it hasn't already. And so we recognized that. Boom, we had a whole panel discussion on esports. And so that's what you're going to find over 2 days. And it's 2 long days, but they're going to go by quick, because you're going to learn so much, you're going to meet so many people, and you're going to have a great time. You're going to walk out with business cards and connections from folks all around the world that you wouldn't have been able to get, on your own. And this is just another benefit of being a part of the University of Miami community. We're constantly striving to provide all of our students the best opportunities to succeed in this industry. I tell students all the time, we'll provide you all the tools necessary to be a success. It's just up to you if you're going to take advantage of them. So hearing about this today and thinking, maybe I'm going to apply and I'm going to get online and I want to get into this program in the spring, I think it's outstanding timing, because in a few months, well, on top of just meeting me in April, you'll have the opportunity to sit down with industry professionals and really get some amazing insight and experience of what it's like to break into this industry. It'd be something unmatched. I don't know if anybody else that's really doing the things that we're doing down here.
Well said, Paul, and I definitely agree 100%, and appreciate the background information on that aspect. And just to kind of name drop, because I know you had mentioned briefly about some of the keynote speakers that we've had in the past, and from the likes of Alex Rodriguez has been here, Jorge Posada, Maria Sharapova, Duke Johnson Jr. I mean, we have a lot of different, Greg Norman, golfer, a lot of different, individuals from a variety of sports in different, I guess to kind of give you different perspectives on different sports. And not only that, the business side, right? I mean, that's what a lot of students come to really learn, is how to kind of translate, sport into a way that it can become a business, and great opportunity to kind of learn from these individuals who have done just that. So it's a really, really great opportunity. We have a question that came in from AJ, and he was asking, what are the dates for the 2019 Sport Industry Conference? And I don't believe they're set just yet, AJ. Last year, they were about that first week of April. I believe it was April 5th and 6th, which is a Thursday and Friday. So those are typically the dates that we'll have, usually about that first week of April. I would say to check back in the beginning of 2019, we should definitely have a set date there. And we do send all this information out to potential, prospects and people that are interested in the program. So, always give us a call at that phone number there that you'll see at the end. I think it's on the screen now as well. You can contact one of our enrollment advisors, and as soon as we have that information, we'll certainly make it available to those that are interested in attending.
I'm going to jump in for a second. We actually do have the dates.
Oh, nice.
So it might be a little bit more recent, but so you guys can mark them all down. It's Thursday, April 11th, Friday, April 12th. So it's the second week, actually, in April this year. You want to make sure you got it on your calendars and you attend it. It's free to our students. If you're coming from outside of the program here, and you say you're over at XYZ University somewhere else, and you want to come because you're seeing all these great speakers and you're seeing the program online, and you think, wow, I need to be a part of this, it's going to cost you money. Here in our program, it's a perk. We want our students to be here. We're encouraging you to attend again. We're providing you all the tools necessary to succeed. Here's another one where it's going to cost anybody on the outside money to come, but for you guys, we want you here, so it's a free opportunity to attend. And I was listening to the names, and there was one not to correct you, but somebody more important than Maria Sharapova was here. So it wasn't Maria Sharapova, it was actually her agent, Max Eisenbud, who was here. And that's who you want to meet. Although it'd be nice to hang out with Maria Sharapova, we're going to teach you not to be the best tennis player in the world. We're going to teach you some of the aspects to be on the back end in helping these athletes be successful. So do we have athlete exposure? Absolutely. Alex Rodriguez came on board a couple of years ago. Jorge Posada, Greg Norman was mentioned. We hear that perspective, and we hear what they're doing in the industry after their playing career. But the majority of folks that you're going to hear from are the behind-the-scenes people, what we're training you for, and the ones that are the difference makers in this industry.
Thank you, Paul, for correcting on the dates as well. Glad that we have that update there. So for those who, if you've missed it, it would be April 11th and 12th. Is when the Sport Industry Conference will take place in 2019. So definitely more information again will certainly be provided for those that are interested. And it's it's a pretty big event here. So don't be surprised if you see some things on social media about it and stuff like that. I mean, it's a really an excellent opportunity, even if you're unsure about starting graduate school or the industry. Just a really, really cool opportunity to get acquainted not only with the university, but like we mentioned, a lot of important individuals when it comes to sport business. So great opportunity there. So we're getting closer to the end of our session here. However, I did want to filter another question or so. A lot of times we get this question from our potential applicants and people looking into the program is, what types of jobs are students seeking with this degree?
Really everything. We've got students that say they are thinking about becoming athletic directors at the high school level. They want to be development directors at a college or university athletic program. We've got some that want to get into marketing and pro sports, some that want to be sports agents, sports financial managers. You're going to learn everything that will help prepare you for any of those fields in the industry, and you'll get exposure to any of those areas that interest you. I would say have an open mind. Come in, you're going to have one thing in mind, which, I don't know, my underclassmen, they all want to be GMs, and then the reality sinks in, and there's not to dash any of your dreams either. When I start to learn a little bit more, it's like, oh, great, you want to be a GM where? Oh, I'd love to be a GM in baseball for the Chicago Cubs. Like, okay, I think that job's taken right now. I don't think they're going to be offering that up. Plus, you've now narrowed it down to one position in the entire world. For you don't want to narrow your scope so much. You could say that's an ultimate dream and an ultimate goal, but you want to have, and I tell students all the time, at least 3 options, 3 different career paths for you where you can see yourself moving into. It opens up so many doors, and what happens is as you're learning more and more content in our program, you're getting exposed to areas you never thought about. For instance, working in a governing body in high school athletics. And being an executive director of a state association. That's probably not one you necessarily thought of. You're going to learn about that, and as you learn about it, you might think, this is an area that interests me. I thought high school athletic director was my end goal, but now maybe being the executive director of a state-run governing body or working in a state-run governing body or even the national office is kind of where I want to head. So it's really the full spectrum of the industry, which always makes our job exciting because not everybody coming in and saying they want one job and that's all they want to do. The sports industry is so diverse and so large as far as opportunities. It just makes our job, I don't want to say challenging, it makes it exciting, with what everybody wants to do out there. And again, from my end, if there's an area that I'm not connected to already, then I hear the student wants to get involved with, then it allows me that opportunity to go out and make that connection, to expand the Rolodex of opportunities and connections for our students.
I think that's a great answer. I mean, definitely couldn't have said it better. Don't come in single-minded, right? I mean, have an idea of what you want to do, but also be open to those other opportunities that are out there. Because as Paul mentioned, I mean, sport is everywhere, right? And the opportunities are in areas you may not have even knew existed in the sport industry, and you may be, find that you're interested in it as you go through the program. So. Definitely great answers, Paul. I mean, thank you so much for attending. We greatly appreciate having you here. It's super insightful for our, attendees as well as just, myself as well. It's always great to hear from you and, get a little bit different perspective from the faculty side of the program. And with that being said, it's actually getting to the end of our session here. So again, just want to thank all of our listeners. Paul, for the 10 millionth time, thanks.
Thank you.
Love having you here. And thank you for all of those that have submitted questions as well. So for our next upcoming session, it would be for those individuals that are interested in earning an MBA or just anyone who's interested in learning more about the University of Miami's UOnline programs. But MBA in particular will be for the next session, so stay with us. It's called the Leading in Business, and that'll be happening at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're going to have one of our professors and our director of the MBA program, Talis Yunus. He will be here and be able to answer some questions as well. So as you'll see on the screen there from our prior sessions, for more information, please feel free to call that phone number there, the 800-411-2290. And as always, you can log on to our website and connect with us in a variety of ways. So thanks again for the participation. Paul, you've been excellent, and hope everyone has a wonderful day.